On this Kol Nidre, we offer these words. Our prayers go out to all who have been affected by Hurricane Ian. We hold you in our thoughts and in our prayers. We are blessed to have had at 4:45 Cantor Abelson, our Cantor Emeritus, on the Bema. So he was here, and he will be here again tomorrow at 11:45 in the sanctuary, and he will be singing. So just for you all to know that. And our healing energy goes out to Rabbi Glazer, who continues to respond to his treatment and has come to services virtually for these high holy days. We are grateful for all of you who are joining us here in the sanctuary. It is so good to see you. And we also are so glad to have those who are virtually with us as well. We are hybrid, as we will be from this time forever. And so we have a large congregation in all four corners of the earth. And we continue as we hear Kol Nidre on the cello. We thank Rebecca Ahrens as she so beautifully played this stirring piece. And we continue as we turn to page 15 in your Machzor. Page 15. Please rise as we open the ark. Kol Nidre, a chant that began in a whisper and rises to a cry. On the night of promises remembered, each soul in solitude communes with the soul of the universe. God, from this day of atonement to the next, may we reach it in peace. All Israel makes these vows to turn from wrong, dishonesty, and greed, to walk in the path of justice and right. Yet we know our weakness, how prone we are to fail. Help us to keep our word. Help us to act with humility and integrity. We seek pardon and forgiveness. We seek your radiance and light. all shall be forgiven, the entire community of Israel and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error. Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to the people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love.
We continue together on the bottom of page 24. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk. As your wisdom opens the gates of night, your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk. We turn to page 28. Please be seated. We continue with the Ve'ahavta on page 30.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We join together in the English on page 30. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. Thus you will become holy to your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, your God. We continue on the top of page 40. Witnesses to this heroic might, the people thanked and praised God by name, freely accepting the reign of heaven. Then Moses and Miriam and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy. Blessed are you in our lives, Eternal One, who redeemed Israel.
Please rise for the tefillah beginning on page 46. אתה kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukedoshim b'chol yom yahalilucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy, seekers of holiness praise you day by day. Selah. Please be seated as we turn to page 63. Like smoke above the altar, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. As Israel once came to you with offerings from the flock, so we bring to you the offerings of our mouth, not lip service, but heartfelt prayer. So the prophet taught, "Return, O Israel, to Adonai your God, for you have fallen because of your sin. Take words with you and return to Adonai. Accept the words we set before you, awkward and imperfect as they are, our hesitant questions, our corrosive doubts. Accept, too, our silences, our thoughts that rise in the stillness, our faith that coheres for a fragile instant, then dissipates like smoke above the altar." We continue on page 72. Continuing on the top of page 75. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot, or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together, and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. We pray for shalom on page 78.
Shalom
continue in silent prayer, finding the words and reflections of our own heart, seeking a life of goodness, blessing, and peace.
Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return to the land of your
We continue with Vidui, our communal confession on page 82. Please rise. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong.
Ay, 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 ay,
Ashanu, Bishinoref, Rashanu, Shichatanu, Tihavnu,
Join together in the English. Of these wrongs we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely, we are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander, we devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey, we abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes, we are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral, we kill, we spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray. Please be seated. We continue on page 88. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control. Together. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn and harm we have caused in your world through arrogant behavior. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish or petty spirit. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. We continue with Avinu Malkeinu on page 114. Please rise.
This past July, in the New York Times, there was an entire section on 8 columnists that wanted to tell us all they got it wrong. You know, David Brooks, Tom Friedman, Michelle Goldberg, that crew. An entire section with an eraser on the front. They made the wrong prediction. They made the wrong insight. They just were wrong. And I reveled in it. It was being publicly proud of being wrong. Wow, revolutionary, really, revolutionary. Not hidden in some section in the paper that we often come across of corrections. No, these were loud and proud and publicly affirming, I got it wrong. When I read that, I knew I was going to speak about it tonight. It's great to know what your Yom Kippur sermon was going to be in July, right? So, it began my thoughts. Why is it so hard for us to say we're wrong? What is the psychological, what is the underpinning of it all? Is it because when we are wrong, we feel like we are wrong? That somehow we are flawed? That somehow what we did was bad, but that we're bad? It's humiliating to be wrong, isn't it? And that is human. It is human to feel humiliation. It is human to feel bad. It is human to feel all those bad feelings of shame and guilt. It is okay. As I like to often say, we don't have to get them the head of the table, by the way. We can turn the volume down on them, but they need a place at our table. It's really so difficult. But if we really think about humiliation and stubbornness and guilt and shame, to not have the last word, but actually to sow the seeds for reconciliation, to sow the seeds for something bigger and stronger and deeper, right? Because if we haven't taken the time, we talk about apologizing and saying we're sorry all the time, but I often don't think about the slide before the apology, what we need to reverse to look for. What do you have to do before the apology so the apology isn't just wah, wah, wah? You have to do the personal work inside yourself to figure out why you did what you did. We all hurt people. It is just the facts of life. But we have to understand why we did that, why we made that snide remark to our partner, why we want to discount a coworker. What is it about it? The Talmud tells us to teach your tongue to say, I don't know. I don't know why I did that, but I'm sure going to find out. I don't know why I said that, but boy, I better look at it deep in my heart to figure out why I did. So what is it all about? Well, let's go back to the very beginning, to the Garden of Eden, because that's really where we might have gotten a little bit of a confused state of the world. You see, the Garden of Eden is a story, like many traditions have, a story about the brokenness of the world, why our world is broken. And so often, when we look at the brokenness, we want to blame and shame someone. We believe that somehow we had a nirvana, we had a Garden of Eden, we had a paradise somewhere, right? Whether it was in the womb, or it was yesterday history, or the times we walked uphill both ways to school. Not possible, but that's okay. We always have this idealized view of what was. We're always trying to get back to it, aren't we? And so what do we do to get back to it? We have to blame somebody else for the thing we did wrong, because otherwise we won't ever get back there, or we're bad. We do this as a way, in some magical sense, of creating a magical world that never existed and never will, never has. And so here we want to blame somebody, but what we have to understand is that the brokenness of the world is no one's fault. Nope, no one's fault. It's not a punishment for us. Nope, not a punishment. It just is. We're all broken. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can kind of get on with our lives and do good. When we're stuck in wanting it all to be perfect, we are going to let life pass us by. There's just no doubt. Life is going to pass us by. You know, at the Passover Seder, this whole idea makes me understand the Israelites in the desert, right? They fetishize the cucumbers and the fish that were in slavery. They romanticize their past in slavery. There is a tradition in many Sephardic households of hitting each other with a scallion at your Passover Seders. And you know why? Because you're supposed to hit the people because you don't want them fetishizing slavery. Something about the past because there's a fear of the future. And that is so human to do so. So let me tell you the Garden of Eden story as I like to tell it. It's a very Jewish way of telling it, by the way. The rabbis help me. I always tell the story. The story is that Adam and Eve, yes, they were disobedient to God and ate from the tree of knowledge, but that wasn't their sin. That's not why they got kicked out of the garden. Actually, the rabbis say Eve was the smartest human being, the smartest woman in the world. Why would she eat from the Garden of Eden, from the tree? She must have had a reason. And the Hebrew itself does confirm that she actually stopped, she looked at it, and she chose to eat the apple, knowing that we could be in paradise as children all day long, but we wouldn't really understand what it means to be in the garden or to experience love, to experience the highs and lows of life until we got out of the paradise, out of the garden. So she chose to eat the apple. What I believe was the sin was when God said, "Why did you do that?" And Eve said, "The serpent made me do it." And Adam said, "Eve made me do it." They didn't take responsibility. That's the sin. So what does it mean to really embrace the brokenness of the world? It just is. Jennifer Kunst, who is a really powerful teacher of mine in psychoanalytic theory, she says it's really the need to not be perfect, to actually acknowledge that we have a brokenness about us that makes us human. She likes to say that perfection, you're going to love this, perfection is anxiety dressed up in high heels. I remember that quote from my days in school. Anxiety dressed up in high heels, that is perfection. Well, let me tell you, I know high heels, I know anxiety, and I know the desire to be perfect. So what does it mean to embrace the imperfection? It means a lot. And it's how we embrace that imperfection and that brokenness, because it just is, it's human, that we really understand how to love, how to be connected, how to truly say we're sorry. Because if we take away the idea that we can never hurt someone and we can never be wrong, we all know what people like that are like. Come on, we all have them in our lives. Not a lot of fun. So here we have embracing the brokenness. The Baal Shem Tov understood that. He understood when he asked Zev Kitsis to sound the shofar for Rosh Hashanah. And Zev Kitsis, well, he took this job so seriously. He understood the power of blowing the shofar. And so he meditated on every sound. He practiced and he practiced and he practiced. He wrote each and every meditation that the Kabbalah said about every sound. And when he got up on the bima to sound the shofar on Rosh Hashanah morning, he put his hand in his pocket and the paper wasn't there. All his notes were not there. And he began to cry, but through his tears, he blew the shofar. And while the Baal Shem Tov came up to him with tears streaking his face, Zev Kitsis said, I'm so sorry. I didn't do it right. My shvarim were not exactly what they should have been. And the Baal Shem Tov said, no, Zev Kitsis, you don't understand. You see, God's castle, for every room there is a particular key to open the lock. And each and every person has to learn something or to understand something in order to find that key. But a broken heart is an axe that opens every room of God's castle. A broken heart is an axe. A broken heart is porous. It lets light in, and it is something that envelops other people. We know the children's story of the Velveteen Rabbit. It's not the horse with its sharp edges that is lovable. It is the rabbit with its fur loved off, an arm maybe a little askew. It is the broken-hearted that where and when we find love, that is the words, I am wrong. I didn't do it right. I am sorry, but through my humiliation, I am going to remain human to my very soul. You see, confessing that you've done something wrong is not weakness. It's often what we're sold. It's a wrong advertisement. Actually, it is proven that admitting you're wrong emboldens trust in you. That the more you can take responsibility and not stonewall and not get defensive, which is very normal, but to work against that, it actually builds trust in you. It builds companionship for you. It builds an understanding, and our world needs it more than ever. Our world's history needs to be confronted, and we need to say, we are and we're wrong. What do? We need to be brokenhearted about where people's lives are at. We need to begin at home, in this community, in our sanctuary, to say, I am wrong and I am sorry. As part of my psychoanalytic training, I have a supervisor. And I was talking to him about this sermon. I said, okay, talk to me about what you think. And he said, Marcy, it's so interesting, back to the New York Times section that said they were wrong. He said, how many hundreds, if not thousands, of columns have these columnists written? And you think it's so great that they apologized once? You have a very low bar, Marcy Zimmerman. But you know what? We have to start somewhere. Once is good. Once is better than never. And it makes me believe that we are taking a turn in our culture, in our city, in our country. If we can admit we're wrong, then I believe we will build trust. We will build a strength. We will build a backbone that shows the power of what it means to live with a broken heart and celebrate it and care for it and love it, so that we can go about being part of this broken world, all of us who are broken together. Gemar Tov.
We have many more opportunities to continue to work on our abilities to say that we are sorry. Tomorrow morning, our services begin at 8:15 here in the sanctuary with our sanctuary creative service that combines what you love from the sanctuary service with our Tipti choir. Everyone will be wearing masks so that those who are immunocompromised can feel safe. We then continue with our tot-friendly family service at 10:30, followed by our 11:45 traditional service with Cantor Abelson participating, and our 11:45 creative service in Minda Hall. At 1:45, we invite everyone to join us for our Yom Kippur study session, where Rabbi Zimmerman will be in conversation with Mayor Melvin Carter, who will be introduced by Mayor Jacob Fry. You then have some time for a contemplative moment in the lobby as we listen to Sherry Rothman on the harp before we begin our afternoon healing and Yisker service at 3:45. And then we will begin our 5:45 Nila service a little different than normal. We will begin it with all the families that have had children since the pandemic started marching in to start our service. And then we will conclude our service with our break fast sponsored by Shirley and Marshall Besikoff family in memory of Shirley's parents, Felicia and Max Schultz. No registration is necessary, and if you've already forgotten all of that, it's on our website. We love seeing you all here in the sanctuary and wish we could greet everyone in person, but given the constraints of COVID, we ask you to allow us to leave the sanctuary before exiting out the Emerson doors. Wishing everyone a Gamar Chatima Tova. As we now continue with the conclusion of our service on page 116, please rise for the Aleinu.
שלא אשמח
page 122. We call to mind the following people who have died in recent days and weeks and months: Frida Kahnfeld, Arlene Davis, Faye Rubin Brody, David Wise, Sandy Schlesinger, John Marver, Josh Mack, Harold Smith, Michael David Troop, Rabbi Yonatan Chipman, Jerry Steinman, and Dr. Paul Michel. And we link their names to those whose yortzites are commemorated at this service: Zali Barretts, Barron family, June Harris Barrows, Harriet Baumel, John Birdie, Sonia Bernthal, Rabbi Zev Jimmy Binder, Samuel Cohen, Francis Cohen, James Cowell, Dr. Enrica Englander, Irving Fang, Florence Finkelstein, Barbara Friedman, Faye Gorelick, John Garrett, Aurora Garrigos Gomez, John Gasway, Gadali family, Cynthia Cunyon Ginsburg, Ronald B. Harris, Benjamin Howard, Amy Kahn, Harold Kaufman, Paula Klein, Sandra Cahotis Landa, Matthew J. Levitt, Dr. Louis Mayer, Henry Louis Myers, Minnie H. Millhauser, Esther Rich, Oscar Rich, Mark Rosen, Dorothy Rubin, Suzanne Saltzman, Schultz family, Muriel Schwartz, Ralph Seed, Zeta A. Shapiro, Marilyn and Marvin Sternberg, William H. Sussman, Shimkevich family, and Rabbi Samuel N. Dinard, who served this congregation from 1901 to 1920, who died on Yom Kippur of that year. We join our voices in the mourners' Kaddish together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma Divra Chirute V'yamlich Malchute, B'chaya Chon of Yomei Chon, Chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uzman Kariv V'imru, Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Umei Leomaya, Yit Barak V'yishtabak V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Termam V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar V'yit Daleh V'yit Talal Shmei D'Kudashah B'richu, La'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbachata V'nechamata, D'amiran B'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehe Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. Otse Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort all the bereaved among us. Amen.
And now we will conclude our service with Cantor Sharet Singer's tradition that she is bringing here, born in Israel, having her way to New York and now to Minnesota. She concludes Kol Nidre in her tradition with Yerushalayim Shel Zahav.
Shvuya b'chal
Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. May our song, the beauty of the music, permeate our broken hearts. May it lift up our hopes and our dreams and our apologies. And may we embrace the brokenness of the world as a starting point so that we can go forth into the future. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and may God keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yechuneka. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's light be upon you and may God grant you and all whom you love the most precious gifts, the gifts of wholeness and the gifts of peace. May it be God's will. Gemar Chatima Tova.